What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm going to always serve you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. So, big ups to all my subscribers. You know, I see all of y'all as family. I appreciate my A1s from day one who's still loyal to the brand. Those of you who have just recently subscribed, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. And if you like today's content, please make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification bell, and I welcome you to Cafe de Paris family. So I'm not going to drag this out. I had to make sure I got that out because the topics that I'm going to be doing tonight are very, very imperative. It's a must that I get to these two issues at hand because they have really, really, really been grieving my spirit with the things that have been going on, within the social media. Okay, so on tonight's menu, because it's almost was going on 1:30 a.m. where I'm at, but by the time I upload this, it'll probably be in the afternoon or probably or probably after 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But most likely I'm going to post this during the daytime, so it'll be daytime by the time y'all get this content. But nevertheless, moving right along on tonight's menu, I wanted to talk about this situation with Nick Cannon. Now, I'm sure a lot of y'all have already been hearing about it. Um, can't really get around it because it's really um, been blown way out of proportion, unfortunately. It's all over the media. It's all over Twitter. It's all over YouTube. It's all over the radio station. So I know you should have heard about it by now if you haven't already. Basically, your boy Nick Cannon then got himself in the hot seat with the Jewish community. And basically, if y'all have not heard, Mr. Cannon became a loose cannon when he made these anti-Semitic comments, which unfortunately caused him to get fired through Viacom, which is the company that is over his podcast. Okay, so if you haven't heard already, Nick Cannon lost his podcast because of the statement that he had made. And basically, what happened, for those of you who have not been keeping up, Nick Cannon brought Professor Griff, known as Richard Griffith. If all of y'all are familiar with Public Enemy, Fight the Power. We got to fight the power. Public Enemy. Professor Griff was a part of that group. He was a big advocate. He's definitely all the way pro-black, and unfortunately, him having his principles and beliefs for the black community, unfortunately, has caused him to have to part ways with Public Enemy due to the fact that his outspokenness for the black community kept triggering and causing an outrage with other races within other communities. So basically, Public Enemy had to let him go. So nevertheless, Nick Cannon decided to allow him to come on his podcast as his honorable guest. And basically, he and Professor Griff was on a podcast and basically talking about how black people are the real true Hebrews, and it was the Jewish that tried to basically imitate their identity, that it was Jewish that had taken um, black people's identity, being that in a sense he was saying that blacks are the real true Hebrews, basically calling them phony. Okay, it's like basically saying you a wannabe Hebrew because we are really Hebrews and you were trying to be like us, basically insulting them, throwing shade, and then to add insult to injury, he did it live on a public broad live cast. It wasn't like he had this conversation behind closed doors or somebody probably recorded him. He did this openly and willingly, which didn't help the situation. Um, Cannon proceeds to say, when we are the same people who they want to be, like I said, calling them wannabes, that's our birthright. We are the true Hebrews. And he continues to go on and say, those without dark skin have a deficiency that historically forced them to act out of fear and commit acts of violence to survive, Nick Cannon further said. They had to be savages. Now, this is the part that really turned the heat up on Mr. Cannon when he made the statement they had to be savages, adding that he was referring to Jewish people, Caucasian people, and Europeans. At the time, Griff told New York Times basically that the Jews are wicked, and we can prove this. In his recent interview with Nick, Griff appeared to stand by his past remarks, telling the podcast, "I'm hated now because I told the truth." That's basically what Griffith said. Like, hey, because I spoke the truth and a lot of people couldn't handle it, I'm hated for it. Cannon, of course, goes on supporting him, continues caping for him being his cheerleader, and says, "No, you're speaking facts. There's no reason to be scared of anything when you're speaking the truth." So Nick was definitely down by law with everything Professor Griffith had to say about the Jewish community. Well, unfortunately, due to Nick Cannon co-signing on the statements Professor Griffith was making, unfortunately, Viacom, who is over his podcast, when the word was brought to them and they heard the remarks that was made towards Jews, basically they put out a statement and said that they had spoken with Nick Cannon about the episode that he did on the podcast, and basically they felt that it promoted hateful speech and it spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. It added, while we support ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitism, and we are terminating our relationship with him. So basically they confronted him and said, "Hey, the comments, these statements that you made on the podcast, we find it unacceptable." Nick was bucking. Basically, no, I'm going to stand for my people. I'm going to stand for what I believe in. And no, I'm not backing down. I'm not backtracking what I'm saying. So basically, they said, okay, we're going to have to cut you. We're going to have to let you go. Nick's television career has spanned more than 15 years with MTV and Nickelodeon, also Viacom CBS owned, starting with his sketch comedy show Wild and Out. So unfortunately, Viacom has a lot of ownership over the majority of Mr. Cannon's, his shows, his brands. Talking about pissing the enemy off, you pissing off the, people that are over your brand. You pissing off your boss. Basically, that's the more appropriate way. Not necessarily say enemies, but no, you pissing off your boss. You pissing off, basically the individuals who hold your livelihood. Basically, not only that, the other problem is Nick does not own Wild 'N Out. He doesn't own it. Viacom owns it. And Viacom is the one who terminated him. So now, all of a sudden, he wants to fight for his rights. He's basically begging and pleading with them to not take Wild 'N Out away from him because Wild 'N Out is like his baby. But the problem is, he doesn't own it. So now he got himself in an even worse predicament because now he wants to try to convince them after they done fired him to give him ownership. I mean, like, bro, come on. Good luck trying to get that accomplished because I don't see that happening. I mean, anything is possible, but these are the same people you basically insulted and threw under the bus, and that's like you and the ex-girlfriend breaking up and you want her to give you back her ring, the ring that you bought her because y'all was planning on getting married. She's not going to give you back that ring, especially now that you done pissed her off. So Nick obviously did not think none of this through before he made the statement that he made. Um, he was also a chairman for Teen Nick, which was a spinoff of the Nickelodeon channel for young kids and teenagers. Um, After all of this backlash, well, before I get to that, I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna get back to that little point there. But basically, what has gone on is he basically pissed a lot of people off when he made that statement. And to add insult to injury, the majority of the people that's over his brand is Jewish. Okay? So that didn't make the situation any better. They said Viacom has a lot of individuals that are Jewish that work for Viacom. So when he made that statement, he basically degraded a group of people that basically had a part in his livelihood because, again, they are part of the company that he called himself, you know, throwing jabs or making racist statements towards. So at this point, it's not looking good for Mr. Cannon. Unfortunately, Fox has not cut the cord on him yet. He's still going to be hosting The Masked Singer. Don't know how long that's going to last. They're riding for him right now. But um, my thing is, when you piss off the Clorox community, the bleach community, and that's the most appropriate way I can say it without trying to get my channel flagged. I don't want to shade nobody. I don't want to insult nobody. So this is the most appropriate way I can say it. When you piss off the Clorox community, um, there's a lot of odds stacked against you, especially when a lot of them take part into your business. So I don't know how long they are going to ride for him. Time will tell, but I'm glad so far for him he still has that in his corner. But nevertheless, at this point in time, things are not looking up for him. It's not looking really good. So what has happened is he's realizing at this point he did too much. He said too much. And I said this on a video that I did a couple of weeks ago. I forgot what the situation was when I forgot what celebrity, it'll come to me later, but it was the reason why I did an upload when I was talking about how um, people who have a brand, people who have certain titles and certain positions, how they have to be careful how they make statements about certain things, especially in this day and time. Because let me tell y'all something, freedom of speech does not exist anymore. Any of y'all who still want to believe that, you are sadly mistaken. Freedom of speech does not even exist at this point, because now you have to be very careful with what you say on Twitter, social media, Facebook. Definitely can't say what the hell you want to say on Facebook. They will flag your channel. They will shut it down. So there's no more freedom of speech. That doesn't exist anymore. So let's not get comfortable with the First Amendment right, because it's no longer in our favor, especially with the way things have been transpiring with all these events, with the police brutalities, and with people losing their jobs, by going online and going on Facebook and making racist statements about the police, making racist statements about black people, white people. A lot of people been catching a lot of heat for it. So at this point, basically, tensions are on an all-time high. So at this point in time, you really cannot say what you want to say any kind of way. And a lot of these shows, a lot of these brands, they're cracking down on celebrities saying all kind of stuff out their mouth, especially if it's something that's racial or degrading to another race. They're cutting ties with you immediately. I watch a couple of shows on MTV. I watch this little teeny bop show called Teen Mom. um y'all probably don't really watch it. I know definitely men are not, they're not going to know, y'all not going to know what I'm talking about. But anyway, they've been cutting ties with a lot of some of the cast members on that show. A lot of people are getting booted. They're losing contracts, they're losing money for making all type of racial statements, or whether if you want to call it truth or not. Even if it's your truth, even if you have facts to prove your truth, that does not matter anymore in this day and age. Because again, ever since this black movement thing done come about, and lives have been taken based on people who have racist principles, racist beliefs, have racist tendencies. um, People think times have gotten even more sensitive now, and especially even more so with the industry. The industry is not taking any chances. If they hear you come out your mouth any kind of way degrading another race or talking down on another race, they're going to hand you the axe, because none of these companies, none of these businesses want to lose their clientele because somebody does not know when to say something and when not to say something. So basically, when you have a brand and your brand depends on your livelihood depends on that brand, okay, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish depends on a certain platform, you have a responsibility that you must upkeep and maintain in order to preserve your platform. And part of that is not saying anything that is going to cause you to be put in the hot seat. I don't care if it's truth. I don't care if what you're saying may be 100% right. But guess what? You cannot say what you want to say anymore just because you feel like it's my platform, this is my brand. I can say and do what I want to do. Guess what? This is my channel. And even with my channel, yes, I own this channel. I own this platform. It all belongs to me. But guess what? At the end of the day, it really belongs to YouTube. And if YouTube feel like I am doing something out of pocket or out of alignment, YouTube is going to shut me down, because guess what? I'm borrowing their platform. I don't own YouTube, okay? I am YouTube's customer. I am a client of YouTube, basically. I'm an employee, okay? They're paying me through their advertisers. They're giving me the privilege to promote my content, my knowledge, by allowing me to use their platform to be able to communicate with my subscribers. This is their house, and it's like anybody else. If you're going to spend a night in somebody else's house, guess what? You got to follow their rules. If you're going to stay with somebody, you got to follow their rules. Now, if you own that house and you make the mortgage payments on it, and you own the title, you have the title and deed in your name to that house, then guess what? You don't have rules you have to abide by. You can make the rules, and anybody who comes underneath you, underneath your authority, underneath your household, they got to abide by your rules, even if it sounds ridiculous, even if it does not make any sense. And the problem with a lot of us in the community, and I'm going to say that us without putting us down, is that when we are given a privilege to get a voice, the problem is a lot of us as black men and black women, we abuse it. We abuse the privilege of being able to express ourselves and be able to extend that First Amendment right of freedom of speech. And some of us, we get granted with that privilege, and it just gets to our heads. And after a while, we become so arrogant and so sure of ourselves, to the point to where we're not even careful with what we say anymore. We don't even think twice before we say it, because we feel like, hell, this is my platform, and Lord, please don't let us get some money. When we get some money, we really think we can say what we want to say, how we want to say it, not realizing that, wait a minute, every boss got a boss. Even though your boss may be cutting you $80,000 check every week or whatever, you still got guidelines you cannot cross. Okay, because at the end of the day, nobody's not going to jeopardize their brand because you do not know how to conduct yourself as a business partner. And basically, Nick Cannon dropped the ball on this one. I'm sure he didn't mean any harm, and it's not that I'm rooting for his downfall, but I said this before. A couple of weeks ago, I said, when you have a brand to preserve and protect, you cannot go around saying what you want to say any kind of way, because it's going to come back to haunt you. It's going to come back to backfire you. Now, this is my other issue, my bigger issue with Nick Cannon. Okay, if he strongly felt that way, that's his right to feel that way. I don't agree with his theory on that, but if that's how he felt, there's nothing I can do to go against that. Whether if I agree or disagree. But this is my problem, and this is what a lot of a lot of black men and black women have to understand. I'm starting to notice there are a lot of black peddlers and black sliders. I didn't say backsliders. I said black sliders. And I didn't say back peddlers. I said black peddlers. And this is what I mean by that. You have people that try to act like they're so gung-ho for the community. Okay? They want to get so black righteous. They want to get on this black righteousness and they want to get on this pro black um, you know, I don't want to say the word. I don't want to use the correct word. I don't want to say black pro black trend, but every once in a while, you get some of these brothers and you get some of these sisters that um, they have a pro black moment. I guess that's the best way I could say it. They have a pro black moment, and they want to be all for the people until the heat turns up. Cause that's what y'all boy is doing now. Nick Cannon was all for his statement. He was very strong in it. He even told Professor Griffith on a podcast, "You're not wrong for telling the truth. You speaking your truth, and that's not something you should feel bad for. You shouldn't feel bad for speaking the truth." He basically told Griffin that you're a legend. As a matter of fact, that was his exact words. He told Griffin, "You're a legend. You're speaking facts. There's no reason to be scared of anything when you're speaking the truth." But ironically, now your boy is backpedaling. He's backpedaling, y'all. All of y'all who've been up here supporting Mr. Cannon and yeah, he was right. They just can't handle us speaking the truth, and they hating on him because he just telling it like it is. And all of y'all ran to this man's defense as soon as y'all seen him. Y'all seen the Clorox community coming at him. Y'all was so quick to run behind him and defend him and, run to his aid and rescue him, from being ridiculed for his quote unquote truth. But now he's blackpedaling. And I knew it was going to happen. That's why I didn't praise him. I really didn't give him no acknowledgement when he called himself speaking for us. Because I already knew in my mind that once they came after him and he thought about all of what he was going to lose, now all of a sudden he wants to backpedal. He wants to black pedal. He wants to black slide. So all of y'all who done ran to this man's defense, he's about to leave y'all in the dust. Because my thing is, if you gonna say something and you believe in it, I need you to stick with it. I need you to stick with what you say. If he really thought that way, then fine. But you need to stick with it. You can't turn around now that you're seeing what's all at stake, now that you're realizing all of what you're going to lose. Now your pro-blackness is going out the door now that you see your check is about to get pulled from underneath you. You see the plug is about to get pulled. Now all of a suddenly you want to apologize and basically insinuating, you didn't mean what you said. And yet, this is why black folks don't need to be so gung-ho as soon as, these individuals have a pro-black moment. And now all of a suddenly, y'all want to run to these individuals' rescues because guess what? When they find out their back is against the wall, all of y'all that's supporting them during their quote unquote pro black moment, they gonna leave y'all in the dust. They gonna leave y'all right in the dust. And that's basically what he's doing now. He's basically calling himself trying to apologize. He's trying to redeem himself. After he done set up there and basically told Griff that, Professor Griff, that you were right for speaking your truth. But honey, once they start pulling the plug, now they going after his show, wilding out. Viacom over that, supposedly, allegedly. So now he wants to backtrack. He wants to backtrack after all y'all done ran up here tweeting and posting that, Nick was just speaking the truth. Every time one of us speak the truth, they want to give us a hard time. They want to go after everything we done accomplished once we speak truth. But the problem is, a lot of these individuals who claim to speak these pro-black truths, when the heat get turned up and they can't handle it, they want to backtrack. They want to backtrack. And that's what he's doing. And that's what's pissing me off more than anything. Because my thing is, if you sincerely believe that, then you need to stick with it, regardless of what you may lose. My thing is, if you put it out there and you're speaking from your heart, then you have to be willing to accept what comes with it. Ain't no need now in trying to backtrack, and that's what I'm upset about. And I'm surprised that so many people are overlooking that. It's like, basically, for instance, you and a group of friends or whatever, y'all both plan on getting together. I know back in the day, when it used to come the fights and stuff like that, and you had a group of people that you had one or two people you was really close to in high school or whatever, and if somebody messed with your friend and you knew that person was bullying your friend and you knew your friend could not handle that person on their own, you'd be like, you know what, after school we all gonna get together and jump him, we all gonna get together and jump her. This is gonna be the last time you get bullied around. We're not gonna stand here and let you get bullied. Now y'all all doing this big time talk that y'all all down to fight. No matter what happens, no matter what goes wrong, y'all done sit there, y'all done planned, y'all done talked about it, y'all done agreed that y'all gonna stand by each other, y'all gonna fight for each other, y'all gonna defend each other. And as soon as that time comes, the people who told you they gonna be there and have your back, they ain't nowhere near around. They got you feeling all big and confident. You going down there thinking that, okay, I'm gonna be able to handle this situation because I'm gonna have my backup with me. Only to go down there and realize your backup, they done backed out at the last minute because they realized they can't handle it. They thought they could handle it. They said one thing, but then when it was time, to get down and let actions speak louder than words, now they want to back down. And that's why I'm disappointed with Mr. Cannon. So this is what Mr. Cannon says, y'all. He says, after the heat got turned up, and now that they threatening to take away his show Wild and Out on MTV, now he decides, oh hell, I am way in over my head. I'm going to have to kiss some butt. I'm going to have to rectify. I'm going to have to backtrack and make this situation right, because now they about to strip me of everything. They about to strip me boonie butt naked. So this is what he posts in response to Viacom CBS on Twitter after they fired him. He wrote, anyone who knows me knows that I have no hate in my heart nor malice intentions. I do not condone hate speech nor the spread of hateful rhetoric. We are living in a time when it is more important than ever to promote unity and understanding. Then he further goes, the black and Jewish communities have both faced enormous hatred, oppression, persecution, and prejudice for thousands of years, and in many ways have and will continue to work together to overcome these obstacles. Now, I will say I agree with him on 2 points in this. For one, I really don't think he's a hateful person. I really don't think he is. I just think Nick's problem is he's still very immature. He's still very childish. He's not a dumb guy, but I believe Nick Cannon is still very childish. He got some immature ways, because I'm not trying to be funny. He's 39 years old. Why are you still on wilding out, rapping, cussing, and carrying on like, this high school boy? You know what I mean? Now, if he still want to be over the show, keep the show in his name, still host the show, I can respect that. But I have a problem with a man that's going on 40 years old, and you on stage, you rapping, and you cussing, you acting like I said, you acting like one of these new school mumble rappers, and I'm just over it. Honestly, I've been stopped watching Wildin' Out. It's tiresome to me. Maybe because I done got older, my nerves just can't take it. I can't take the rap, and I can't take the roasting. Because not even funny. Sometimes some of the roasting could be insulting, in a sense, where they're damn near insulting each other versus roasting each other. It's just not entertaining to me. I just think Nick is too old for it. I just think he kind of needs to allow it. I think he needs to produce, still make his money, fall back, but let the younger generation do his thing. And my thing is, if he can save himself and still keep that show, that's what the hell he needs to do. He needs to just host and sit his ass in the audience along with everybody else. He don't need to be on the stage rapping and doing all that. First of all, you a father of four. You're going on 40. You done served your time. You making your money. You good. He ain't got no worries at this point. He need to go sit down somewhere, because I truly believe that it comes a point when you start doing too much, it means it's time to fall back. There's nothing wrong with that. You have some people, they never want to let go of the limelight until something bad happens. You know what I mean? But something bad has to happen, and then they don't have a choice but to go sit down. So at this point, if he still has his Fox show, The Masked Singer, and if God spares him and he still gets to keep wilding out, he need to go sit his old ass down somewhere. I'm sorry, Nick Cannon, you old, boo, you old. You're going on 40 years old, okay? You're a father of four, because I know you just had your little fourth baby. Let it go, dude, okay? Especially after this, let it go. Learn to be a mentor in the background. Help another young man who's trying to get up and be where you are, who wants to own his own show, who wants to be an entrepreneur like what you're doing. Just kind of encourage another young man. Just become somebody's mentor. And you go sit your ass down somewhere, okay? Because this incident right here has already proven that you are way ahead. You're way ahead of yourself, okay? So that's what he needs to do. But that's the first thing I want to say is I don't think he's a hateful person. I just think the problem is his ego done got in the way. I just have noticed as Nick has become older and older, he's starting to really, get the big head. He's thinking now he can say what he want, and a lot of these comedians, a lot of times they're so used to being the butt of jokes, they don't know when they're doing too much. And I think that's a problem with some comedians. They get so far out of hand, and not even just comedians, just people in the Hollywood, the Hollywood industry, when they have gotten used to getting a certain amount of clout, a certain amount of attention, once that fame start getting to their head, they don't know when to level. They don't know how to level it out. Like, they don't have that third sensors that tells them, wait a minute, I'm doing too much, I'm saying too much. Let me sit down before I rub somebody the wrong way. Even sometimes I got to catch myself like, wait a minute, Mocha, you doing a little too much. You may need to just, don't blog for a week or two. Just kind of sit out. You got to take heed. You got to coach yourself. But what happens in the Hollywood world, the fame tends to blind you and rob you of your identity. So you become less and less more careful with what you say and how you say it. So that's the first thing. I don't think he's hateful. I agree with that. The second thing I agree with is that the other point he made is that Black and Jewish communities have faced enormous hatred, oppression, and persecution and prejudices for thousands of years. I agree with that. I believe we have a whole lot in common with them. They have had to uh, fight to be treated as equals, just like we have. We have a lot in common with them. They're despised in many ways, just like we are despised in many ways, and they're still trying to be accepted. Like we are still fighting to get accepted. So I agree with that, but that should have been even more of the reason why he shouldn't have went ahead and made that statement he made. Now, if him and Professor Griffith was at Starbucks and just having that conversation amongst themselves, then that's all right. No big deal. But when you're going on podcasts, boo, with these so many different races are involved in your brand, and that's the thing. You don't know all of who's invested in your brand. Especially when you are a celebrity like Nick Cannon. 9 times out of 10, you don't have just all blacks in your brand. You don't have just all whites. You probably have a few Indians. You probably have a few Latinas, because it's so many of us that got so much that we can add to the world and give to the world. There is no one race that's helping people to get to where they are. Even me as just a regular damn correctional officer, I didn't just get there by my own race. It took other races that had to confide in me and see that I'm good for the job to keep me there. My trainer was a white guy. He had to sign off and say, okay, she can handle this position. She's fit for this. It wasn't my own kind that got me through the door. You know what I'm saying? So that's common sense. I don't care what platform you're on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get so pro-black or don't get so pro-white. Don't get so pro-nothing, because it's not just one group of people that's helping you to get to where you are, okay? It's several people. I don't have just all black subscribers. I may have one or two white ones that really value what I say, and I have to be careful with what I say on my platform, where I don't turn them away and cause them to feel like they got to flag my video and flag my channel because I'm degrading them and I'm putting them down. So I have a responsibility. And I'm getting to the point, y'all. I'm tired of people only wanting to feel bad after damage is done. I am so tired of that. Why can we not think twice before we react, and we just go out there and get on a microphone? Because guess what? It's so easy to get comfortable. Like right now, I got my bonnet on my head, y'all. I got my PJs on. My daughter, my husband, they knock out sleep. I'm in a very comfortable zone. So I can easily miss and say something that I should not say because I'm in the privacy of my own home. But I have to realize that what I am saying, it is national, it's going worldwide. People in other states are hearing what I say out of my mouth. So I have to be very sensitive to that, and I have to be considerate of that. That's why I always say, y'all notice I always say, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply, because I don't need people getting in their feelings thinking that I'm attacking certain people or whatever. So I'm tired of people wanting to apologize and give a Hallmark card speech when they realize everything they have to lose. I mean, Nick, you're a grown man. You didn't think that you making that statement was not going to come back and backfire, and then you had the audacity to not to swallow your pride and not even apologize when they gave you the opportunity to apologize. No, I'm gonna say what I need to say. I'm sticking with what I'm saying. Now you want to backtrack, black track. That's what I say, guys, ladies. Stop being gung ho just because somebody want to defend us, okay? Because as soon as they find out their contract's gonna get pulled, guess what? They don't want no parts of it. They want to take it back and say, oh, I didn't mean it. It was an apology and all this and that. And now y'all feeling like herbs because y'all done sat there and ride and die with this dude, walking around with billboard posters caping for him. And just that quick, he done spit in y'all face like, oh, well, I ain't meant nothing by it, huh? Child by. Now, let me mention another black slider, okay? Because your boy Dwayne Wade, which he's become like a yeast infection to me. He just starting to irritate me, him and his wife, but whatever. They just doing a whole lot of stuff right now. But your boy Dwayne Wade, now when Nick originally came out and said that Dwayne Wade posted on his Twitter, Nick Cannon, we are with you. keep leading. Now, mind you, Dwayne Wade has a black fist as his emoji. And he says that we are with you, keep leading. Other words, we got your back. We support you. We agree with you. We down for you. Okay? He turns around, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me tell y'all. He posted that. Okay, he first posted that. He posted it on the 15th at 12:56 p.m. Okay? I guess when he saw the heat was getting turned up, honey, he turned around 5:32 p.m. that same day and said, he reposted it, y'all. Dwayne Wade said, this is what he posted: I was too quick to respond without being fully informed about his hurtful anti-Semitic, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, y'all, anti-Semitic remarks. As you all know, I have zero, capital letters, tolerance for any hate speech. So that's what he said. Black track. Once he saw that he was getting turned up on his fellow brethren, he had to clear the smoke off of him real quick. Then he comes back and says, I want to clarify my now deleted tweet. I was not supporting or condoning what Nick Cannon specifically said, but I had expressed my support of him owning the content and brand he helped create. People are so full of it, man. People will get you pumped up and act like they got your back. They putting all kind of bullets in the chamber, acting like they gonna help you pop it off. And as soon as it's time to get down to the fight, oh honey, they putting up their guns and they, oh, I don't think this is the right thing to do. I done thought about it. I done realized we don't need to go about it this way. Dwayne Wade, he was all for him till he saw the heat got turned up. He ran out the kitchen. Honey, that's why I don't get involved in this pro stuff. Y'all can say what you want to say, but I'm not getting involved in it because I know when folks talking about when they know a dollar on the line, when they know their livelihood on the line, and they gonna lose their mansion, they could lose their Lamborghini, they Beamer, they Mercedes, honey. They ain't but so pro black once they realize all of what they're gonna lose, and they gonna leave you right in the dirt. So next time somebody wants to come out with all these pro black speeches and themes and anthems, y'all better keep it moving, because as soon as the cross community who's responsible for cutting their checks start wanting to take their checks, honey, they ain't want nothing to do with their own kind. And y'all up here, and I'm looking at these black women caping for him. I'm like, Nick Cannon don't even deal with black women, and y'all the main ones up there caping for him. But that's besides the point. You know, I don't want to make this a feminist thing, but I just find that ironic. You know what I'm saying? Them damn black women quit to complain, but y'all want to support brothers who ain't even looking at you like that. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But my whole overall point with that, I believe Nick is a strong guy. He's going to bounce back from this. Because he is a logical thinker. He just got caught up in the pro-black moment, the pro-black hype. He forgot where the hell he was. He lost his head for the moment. But what's in a man shall come out. And he spoke what was truly on his heart. And there's no need to backtrack that, especially when you got people supporting you, defending you, and feeling like you speaking your truth, and then you want to hesitate once you realize, your money is at stake. Now you want to backtrack it. And I'm like, who does that? So ladies, gentlemen, I don't care if it's our own kind. Don't be so quick to defend your own kind, because when they money is on the line, guess what? All your support ain't gonna mean nothing to them. Okay? So That's my intake on that. I believe he will bounce back. My thing at this point, I will say this: he might as well let that show go. I ain't trying to be funny. He need to let it go at this point. But what he can do, if they still allow him to get ownership, if he had any dignity and grace about himself, what he can do is host the show, produce it, but he don't need to be up there as much as the crew who he has hired to become a part of his brand, because he's getting older. He's going on 40 years old. He's a father of four. I think it's time for him to pass the torch. And again, he can still, I think the Masked Singer, I think for his age, that's cool, because he's not up there rapping and acting like this young thug guy, you know what I mean? So he just needs to start doing things that suit his age. I don't know what's y'all opinion on that. That's the first question. In the comments below, do y'all think Nick needs to say to hell with how they feel? He needs to keep his brand and just keep it moving? Or do y'all think at this point, after, all the backlash he done got, he needs to bow gracefully and be on some, you know what, it was fun while it lasted. I'ma stay over here and keep it moving. Or, he can or still stay a part of it, but just be in the background. You don't be up front. Let the next generation come in and do their thing and have their moment. He done had his moment. He's still not hurting. He's still making his bread. So what's y'all opinion on that? Leave y'all comment below. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, y'all, was one of my favorite pastors, who I'm a little disappointed with. I've always been a big follower of Pastor T.D. Jakes, okay? And I've always acknowledged, I've always respected a lot of his knowledge, a lot of his words, a lot of his teachings to this day has got me through some hard times. I would never take that away from him. I believe even clean water could come out of a dirty faucet. If somebody has wisdom and knowledge, because guess what? Even with all the wisdom and knowledge that I share, I have had some demons in my closet that I have had to conquer. So by no means do I got the right to sit up here and knock anybody about their lifestyle. But when I feel like something is just not right, I have to, you know, appease to it. you know. And basically what's going on with Pastor T.D. Jakes, if y'all have not heard, his daughter, oh my gosh, I want to make sure I get his daughter name right, because he got, I think he got 2 or 3 daughters, but it's Sarah Jakes Roberts, who I also respect to the utmost. She's also a pastor as well. And she gives a lot of good sermons, a lot of good testimonies. So his daughter, you can tell, is just, ministry is in their blood. So people can say what they want to say about the Jakes. At the end of the day, I do love a lot of their teachings and a lot of the knowledge that they share, because it has really helped me to this day. So I have to say the good before I go into the bad. But what I am displeased about is his daughter. From my understanding, she was purchased a $4 million mansion. A $4 million. To give y'all a little background on Pastor Jakes, because some of y'all don't know this, but he was the one who bought his daughter this Calabasas mansion, that's what they call it, worth $4 million, 9,473 square feet, 9 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms. Okay, mind you, she's not even in her 40s yet. Okay. Nevertheless, televangelist and Bishop T.D. Jakes reaches a devout audience of millions of any given week through his vast empire of books, films, and televised sermons. More than 30,000 members strong, the organization employs 400 and has made Jakes one of the most recognizable faces of modern Christianity. At least one of Jake's 5 children has already followed his supersized ministry's footsteps. Sarah Jakes Roberts, now in her early 30s, has quietly assembled an upstart empire of her own with a podcast, multiple book deals, millions of social media followers, and sold out nationwide preaching tours. The still youthful but gifted speaker frequently appears on TV everywhere from the Dr. Phil show to the Today Show, where she's been candid about her rocky adolescence and young adult life from having her first child at age 14, a subsequent failed marriage to former NFL linebacker Robert Hansen, and suicidal thoughts. Now based part-time in Los Angeles and married to Torrey Roberts, with whom she co-pastors the Potter's House churches, one at LA and one in Denver, records revealed the budding entrepreneur has inked a $4 million deal for a large estate on the outskirts of Calabasas. So basically we ain't got to go into all of that. It just basically describes the house, the features and all this and that and everything. So we already know if it's 4 million, it's definitely nice. It's going to be extravagant, okay? So I don't have to go into all the details about the marble floors and all this other stuff, but nevertheless, this is something that I'm starting to see that's happening a lot within the ministry. I just feel like whenever you're in ministry, there's nothing wrong with God blessing you. And I feel like you should be blessed, especially when you're uplifting the community, you're giving them the word of God, you're healing souls, you're uplifting people, you're spiritually delivering them, from their mental hardships and things of that nature. However, I think now that ministry has become very Hollywood. It has become so Hollywood now, to the point to where now a lot of these church these pastors, these evangelists, they're starting to become Hollywood now. I know some pastors who still live in the projects, okay, and still teach an excellent word of God. I know some pastors who still live in a 5 bedroom house and still teach a phenomenal word of God. And you know, I don't feel like in my opinion, I don't feel like you because you get to a certain level in life now, you feel like you are automatically entitled to live in the same lifestyle as the rich and the famous, because you are still called to do a purpose for God, in the will of God, and there's a difference between um, doing things because you're called to do it, and doing things because you are calling yourself to do it. And I think that's the biggest problem in the ministry, that a lot of people have already appointed themselves. They have made themselves deacons before they were even confirmed from God that they were qualified to be deacons. They have qualified themselves to be first ladies when they're not first lady material. They have appointed themselves to lead a choir when they're not even leading their own personal lives in the right direction. It's basically a lot of people that are calling themselves and appointing themselves to be something that they're not, and they're doing it for whatever reason, and they're doing it for their own personal reasons, for their own hidden agendas. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with Pastor Jakes. I don't know nothing about him, never met the man in my life or whatever, and I will always be a supporter as far as listening to his sermons and his listening to his messages, because again, a lot of his messages and a lot of his knowledge has really inspired me and kept me, and I will say that. But I have a problem when there's a lot of people within the ministry that don't have any compassion for their members that are struggling. And my thing is, if you're going to get a 3 or 4 million bedroom mansion or whatever, that is something that should be kept to yourself. I don't think that it needs to be paraded, and it needs to be glorified in front of your members that are struggling to get to your church. Half of y'all members are struggling, or can't, don't even have bus fare to get to the church. Half of them are driving cars that need new head gaskets, or cars that are constantly running hot, cars that keep leaking oil. It's a lot that church members have to go through in order to go to the house of the Lord to hear a good word and to feel inspired. That the way they don't feel like they have to be confined in their unpleasant circumstances. And people look to go to the church to be healed. They look to be encouraged. They look to be inspired. But in a sense, what a lot of these ministers are not understanding is that it's discouraging when you're going to the house of the Lord looking to be healed, looking for encouragement. And when you walk outside them doors and you got to walk to the parking lot and your raggedy car, you don't even know if it's going to crank up, because you have problems with it getting there, or you got to stand outside and wait on that bus, regardless if it's 90 something degrees, because it's hella hot here in Savannah. I don't know how hot it is where y'all are, but it's been real crazy hot. Or you stand out in the bus stop pouring down raining, and your pastor is riding past you and his 2020 Lincoln Cadillac, and won't even pull over and offer you a ride. Just blow the horn, beep, 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 beep. Y'all have a blessed day. Praise the Lord. I'm praying for you. I'm praying the Lord bless you with better transportation, but won't offer you to even drop you off to your residence, even though you are a faithful church member and you come day in and day out. And that is one of my issues with the ministry, is that they are not being sensitive to those that are struggling, supporting their movement. And it's not even just TD Jakes. I won't say no names or whatever, because I don't know how many people listen to my content, but there's a pastor who recently brought his wife a vehicle. Now, I don't see nothing wrong with the man buying his wife a nice car. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing if a woman buys her man a car. I think it's a great thing when a husband and wife can spoil each other. But I have a problem when you got to post it on Facebook. I have a problem when you got to post it on the gram. That's what John Gray did, and a lot of people was pissed with him. A lot of his members felt some type of way because he bought his wife a Lamborghini. And we found out later on why, and we knew it was the reason he was stunting. It didn't come out right then and there initially, but it came out later on that, come to find out, he had some dealings with a female. He was dealing with a side chick, okay? And I don't know if the side chick, the wife got a whiff of it or whatever the case is, but 9 times out of 10, usually when a man just decides to up and do something extravagant like that for his wife, it's problems in the home front. And it eventually ended up coming out that he was seeing somebody on his wife. So that's why, ladies, you can't be hating on other women, no matter how good it look like they got it, or even if their husband got them driving a 2020 Lexus and got them in a nice, beautiful home in a gated community. You don't know what the hell she had to go through for her and for him to all of a sudden want to be a wonderful husband and get her all of those things, okay? A lot of those gifts be guilt gifts, okay? Just to try to make up for all the damage he has done or whatever. So anyway, but a lot of people looked at him some type of way, and I don't think he has that church anymore, because I haven't heard anything about it, or either he had to step down, but I noticed I haven't heard much about him since that video went viral of him buying his wife a Lamborghini. And I'm like, come on now, a lot of y'all big time mega ministry pastors, y'all be doing too much. You mean to tell me a 2020 Lexus ain't enough, or 2018 Lexus ain't enough? Y'all got the parade that y'all bought a 2020 Rolls Royce on Instagram, on Facebook, knowing half of your poor struggling members are following you. Y'all don't think that's discouraging? Y'all don't think that eats at somebody's spirit when you struggling trying to serve the Lord, and your pastor, every time you come to church, he wants to preach how you got to pay tithes. He wants to preach how you got to pay 10% and 20%, but you struggling just to get to the ministry. You don't even have no gas to put in your 1987 Honda Accord. And if your car broke down and needed a jump, he ain't gonna help you. He may get one of his other workers or whatever. Y'all go help Sister Julie. Y'all go get the jumper cables. He ain't about to come down there. with his $2,000 suit on and his $3,000 gator shoes. He ain't about to get hit no oil, no dirt, oil, nothing on his hands to assist you. He ain't about to go and get you a little nicer plucker, even though he could afford it. He ain't about to get you a used certified car for like $3,000, $4,000, even though that's nothing to him. He ain't about to look out for his members like that, no matter how long you've been going there and tithing. And it just amazes me how a lot of these pastors, they are so insensitive to their members who are in the struggle, who are in poverty. You got all these members that are in poverty, that's giving these mega ministries their last $20, their gas money, their kids' lunch money, just so they don't have to feel guilty that they're not paying their tithes. Because a lot of these pastors, they preach on, pay your 10%. That's the way you're going to get blessed. That's the only way you're going to have this and you're going to have that. And I'm not knocking anybody who tithes. And I think, that's still what you're supposed to do. The Bible says you're supposed to give your 10%. You're supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you're in a certain church and you see they live in fabulous and they live in luxurious and you barely got decent socks on your feet without holes in them, that may mean you may need to switch to another church that's going to have a little bit more compassion for you, or you may need to tithe that money into places where it's really needed. Like, to me, I feel like tithing, that's a very, very picky, that's a very sticky situation. It's a very sensitive topic. I hate talking about religion because religion is like politics. Everybody wants to go in and it just gets ridiculous. I'll say I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I would say that, or whatever. I ain't proud of it. I'm just saying I'm more spiritual, not religious. So my thing is, I've gotten to the point now, before I go tithing into all of these ministries and stuff where people are living off the money while we struggling, working paycheck to paycheck, you better off almost giving to places that really are in a struggle. Like, give to a woman's shelter for battered women that are being abused. Give to Salvation Army. Give to Red Cross where they need more money for blood. I'm like, all the money we putting into these ministries, you paying for their mansions, you paying for their Bentleys, you darn near better off putting it somewhere where people really need it the most. But that, again, that's an individual choice, because again, I don't want nobody coming on here talking about, no, we're supposed to pay our 10% to the Lord. It don't matter what they do with the money, that's on them, that's their business, and that's this and that's they that, and whatever you choose to do, that is on you. I'm just giving you my perspective on it, and I'm gonna have to pray on it a little bit more and ask God to give me a better insight. But something about that whole situation with his daughter getting a $4 million mansion, I'm like, come on. I mean, I can understand a $300,000 house. I understand a $400,000 house. They got beautiful houses that got 5, 6 bedrooms, for 300, 400,000 in the beautiful, nice subdivision communities. A $4 million mansion. That to me, that now y'all going Hollywood. Y'all went from the Holy Spirit to Hollywood, to to Holyhood. You know what I'm saying? The Holywood, I guess. So I just, like I said, it's not just him. I'm not picking a badger on him. I see pastors just on a smaller rank. Why do y'all constantly have to post what y'all buy for y'all family when your members are struggling to get to your congregation? Not only financially, I have a problem with how they rub their blessings in front of their struggling members, but the fact that they brag a lot too. There was one particular church I went to, and the pastor was really sweet and his wife was really sweet. Never disrespected me. I never had any problems with him. But I just always noticed how he would always brag about, his kids going on trips. His son, flying a plane to Africa, going to France, going to Paris. I'm like, well, hell, I guess so. All our tithes, everything we're working for, going to you. Half of us, we can't even give our kids lunch money every week. and you're up here bragging about what you do for your children. I'm like, y'all got to be sensitive to the spirit. The spirit don't tell y'all no, that don't address how you blessing your children in front of other members who may be struggling, want to do more for their kids, want to do better for their kids, but they can't afford it. And it's just certain things you just don't do. And this is the reason why so many people are turning away from the churches, and so many people are saying, you know what, I'd rather fellowship at home, I'd rather praise the Lord at home. Because these churches, not just the mega ministries, even the churches in the hood, they cutting up. Everybody up here beating members down about y'all not tithing. You got to pay your 10% if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven and all this and that. But at the same time, y'all members, y'all know y'all members going back to the hood. Half of the time, y'all won't even offer to make hot dogs and give hot dogs and chips just so their kids will have something to eat when they leave your ministry. That way, you know, at least they ate something. You don't know how half of your members are even feeding their children. You know, and it just amazes me how a lot of these pastors will sit up here and talk about all the struggles they have gone through and how the Lord has blessed them. But where were you before you got blessed? Okay, you had to bum rides, you had to catch buses, you know, you had to borrow a bag of potatoes to feed your children. Now, now that you have reached a certain level, you know, you are showboating your blessings in front of your struggling people. My thing is, if you're going to be blessed, it's better to be discreet with it. I'm not saying downgrade and go from your $4 million mansion to your 200,000. You know, once you done got used to being a certain bracket, it's hard to downgrade. But y'all don't need to be parading that, because that's making people feel some type of way. Now, for instance, I almost became a pastor. I almost got into ministry myself. So I've learned a lot along the way. Um, you know, and I realize that's a very, very serious position. That's nothing to play with. I feel like if you're going to get in the ministry, you're going to do the work and the will for God, you have to mean business. You can't go up in there with a personal agenda. You can't go up there with demons and skeletons in your closet with unresolved issues. And I knew I still had unresolved issues in my life. And the last thing I was going to do was embarrass myself and bring reproach on somebody else's church and disrespect God by calling myself to be something, and I know I wasn't all of where I needed to be in order to fulfill that position. So I gracefully bowed down, but never know, you know, depending on how things are going, I may pursue ministry again. And I'm really thinking about going to spiritual direction with my channel. It's been on my mind pretty heavy, so don't be surprised if one day you may come on my channel and it may come to that, you know. But that's a story for another day. But my thing is, if I was in the ministry, I wouldn't drive my 2020 Bentley to no church. You know what I would do? That would be my private blessing for me and my family when we leave the church. I'm going to drive up there in a 2017 Toyota Camry. 2018, I'm going to share my members' struggle. Now, however I want to enjoy my blessings in my private life, that'll be for my private life. But I'm not going to parade that in front of my members, in front of those who I got working for me in that ministry, because people feel some type of way. People ain't got time. People don't want to hear about what I got: books, I got shows, I got this, I got that. Okay, yeah. But half of your members, they scared to even tell you they need $200 for a light bill, because they got to go through all type of protocols and all type of stuff they got to go through just to get the church to help them. And in many cases, some of the churches don't even offer that. Now, I can't say if TD Jakes church does it or not, because I've never been there, so I don't want to slander him or any of these pastors. But the truth is, a lot of them, you know, they don't make it easy to help you, because the truth is, in a lot of cases, a lot of churches have tried to help. I've seen churches help certain individuals, and these individuals, they don't do right with it. I've seen members who come to church pouring down, crying that they can't feed their kids, they can't do this, they can't do that. Church get together, bring them money, bought them a piece of vehicle, and they don't even come back to the church no more. You know, it's like, okay, the church help you get on your feet, but now that you done got what you wanted, you just walk away and not even say thank you, I appreciate it. So there has been some churches who have done right by their members, and when their members got up on their feet, they walked off. So I'm not saying all churches do it, but I am saying this: If your members are struggling, they don't need to be hearing nothing about you buying $3 or $4 million cars and houses, because guess what? That's gonna make them feel like everything that they're, or every time they put money in the collection plate when it's getting passed around, that hell, that's going to your Bentley. That's going to your mansion. And here it is. I can't even pay my $30 for my Section 8 two-bedroom apartment. So I just thought that was something to kind of share with y'all. I don't think it's a really good thing for people to do. As I was saying, it's really not a good look. It's called having discretion. Letting the spirit lead you. You have to know it's a certain way you have to do things. It's a certain way you got to conduct yourself. It's a certain way you got to carry yourself. Things could get misconstrued. People can look at things in the wrong way. That's why you have to be careful how you conduct yourself, basically, especially when you're in ministry. So anyhow, I just thought it was imperative that I spoke on both of these two subjects, which brings me to my next question. What do y'all feel about these pastors in ministry? Do y'all think that even though they are giving the word of God, that they should be blessed abundantly? I mean, after all, we pay athletes, we pay rappers, we go to their shows, we go to their concerts, we buy their tickets and everything, and we don't have a problem with them driving Bentleys. We don't have a problem with them riding Porsches, driving Porsches and living in mansions. We don't have a problem with these stars and these celebrities doing it. So why are we having an issue with those in ministry that are doing it? I guess in a sense because we expect celebrities to be entertainers, so we expect them to a certain degree to live the lifestyle they live, so I'm not sure, what is y'all intake on that, but to me, I'm not really buying that. I just have a problem when I see those in ministry that are trying to live like they are in Hollywood, and if so, again, it's the fact that they're not being low key about it. They're being all flamboyant. It's out there in your face. This is how we live. This is what we got. It just makes people feel cheated. Like I'm investing into this ministry, but my car about to be repossessed, and I know if I was to even reach out and say, hey, I just need $200 until I catch up, I know I'm not going to be extended that same type of help. And I get it, the church can't always do it because again, people abuse it. So it's a sticky situation. But what is y'all intake on those in ministry? Do you think they deserve to be able to live the luxurious life if they're given a word of God, or do you feel like, okay, if that's the case, if you do want to live the luxurious life, you need to be discreet with it? So anyway, give me y'all intakes on both of these situations. I'm definitely going to read y'all comments and respond to y'all comments or whatever. I think this was a pretty good recipe, because a lot of this is going on right now. Again, we have all of these celebrities that's getting out of pocket. They're showing their true colors. They're showing all the racial tendencies, and their real underlying issues with certain people of certain races, and now it's causing them to lose sponsorship, and it's causing them to lose support and a fan base. And then you also have these well-known uh, popular evangelists that are also forgetting that there's still a certain way they need to conduct themselves if they're going to be in ministry without making themselves look like they're more concerned with image than living God's word and walking God's word. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Again, I appreciate all y'all support. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me. And again, this is gonna be one of my late chats tonight. So with that being said, for those, if you didn't already subscribe to me, make sure that you subscribe. And if you have a second, please hit that like button before this video ends. Just click that like button really quick, or a thumb down if you didn't like the content, or whatever you choose, that's fine. But just make sure you at least give me something so I know what I need to work on or what I need to do. But other than that, y'all, it is your girl, your dealer in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth and break you off with a slice of knowledge. And don't go away just yet until you hear a sponsor from yours truly, Lady Mocha. Talk to y'all soon. Bye. What's up, peeps? It's your favorite live stream cable app owner, Lady Mocha. I'm presenting to you a cheaper live stream cable alternative app, Espresso Streams. If you're getting fed up with Comcast, Spectrum, DirecTV, Dish Network, Sling, and these other high-cost cable providers, you need to invest into Espresso Streams. Espresso Streams is a live cable streaming app with over 10,000 choices of movies, shows, series, and videos on demand. Espresso Streams has premium movie varieties that has over 6 HBOs, 5 stars, over 10 Cinemaxes, and so much more. We all have an abundant selection of sports packages, including Red Zone, NASCAR, ESPN, and let's not forget, all pay-per-view events are included at no additional charge. Unlike other cable providers that would charge extra with Espresso Streams, live pay-per-view events are included for free with your services. We also have international channels. Yes, you heard me. I have international channels for Espanol, Africa, Brazil, Jamaica, the Netherlands, and many other international channels from all over the world. And of course, we all have our popular USA networks, Sci-Fi on VH1, all the MTVs, TBS, ID Discovery, you name it, we got it. We have Cartoon Networks for children as well, and adult entertainment for your viewing pleasure. If you can afford to pay Netflix for $9.99 a month, add $16 more and you can afford Espresso Streams with way more selection. Netflix shows the same shows for months, while Espresso Streams is constantly premiering new movies and new shows. Plus, we also have all Netflix originals. So yes, you can still have your favorites from Netflix through Espresso Streams. What makes Espresso Streams so different? You don't get charged late fees. For up to 2 devices, it's only $26 a month. 3 or more, I will work a deal with you. All you need is high-speed internet of 25 megabytes per second or higher and an Amazon Fire Stick. You need a Fire Stick for every TV you have if you want cable on every TV in your home. You can also get the apps installed on your mobile device if you want live streaming cable on the go for an additional $5 a month. That's it, just $5 a month for live streaming cable on the go mobile app. So hit me up today if you are ready to dish that cable provider or dish satellite that's constantly freezing up every day, and come my way for Espresso Streams live cable app. Live cable with flavor. Holla at your girl.